Okay, you gotta watch this.
How many gotaways did CBP record in fiscal year 2023?
I believe, Senator, that number is over 600,000, as I'm sure you are well aware. The
Over 600,000 gotaways.
phenomenon of gotaways is something that has been a challenge for the Department of Homeland Security.
This guy is
for
pure evil.
We are dealing fundamentally with a broken immigration system. We are
You broke
seeing
it.
an unprecedented level of migration throughout our hemisphere.
You know, that's the man who admitted they lost track of 85,000 children last year who had come across the border, right? Yeah, that's the Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. And he says he's got a direct admission.
Gotta listen to this now. Listen to the guy that's running this caravan.
We're learning more about a caravan of nearly 5,000 people making their way to the United States from southern Mexico. The leader of that caravan, yeah, there's one leader saying this.
Listen.
I believe that the Biden administration has dropped the ball. Joe Biden administration has lost the ball. Does not know what to do with immigration, has been this and another thing, and has lost a lot of the power, or hasn't even called the countries into sitting down and make sure that he finds a way to stop this immigration, this bleeding. He's lost the ball. He's not doing anything.
This is the leader of the migrant party.
The caravan leader takes on the president of the United States and schools him on how he's not keeping the border secure. That is rich. States straining to cover the costs. New York currently spending $2 billion to deal with the border crisis, of course, because this is a sanctuary city, and they flow in. Governor Kathy Hochul calls all of it unsustainable for the state of New York. Chicago facing questions over putting $150 million aside for illegal immigrants next year, while many of the people who are living there, American citizens, are struggling. And in Colorado,
Unbelievable.
Denver has spent $24 million on immigrants.
Wake up, America.
As of September. Jason Chaffetz, former Republican congressman from Utah and Fox News contributor. This is the opposite of putting America first.
Yeah, exactly. It's open borders. They tacitly invited these people to come here. It's offensive to have Secretary Mayorkas sit there and lecture the United States Senate that we have a broken immigration system. They broke it. It was secure under Donald Trump. They broke it. They opened up the borders. They don't enforce the law. Enforce the current law, and we will help solve this problem. If you come across the border illegally, not through a port of entry, you are to be detained and put back into the country of which you came. They never do that. They purposely release hundreds of thousands of people who came here illegally. They just let them back out into the homeland.
You know, there's so much to get to here. I want to go back to the caravan leader. I mean, this thing is organized, right? So Mr. Mujica took on the president of the United States complaining that our immigration system doesn't work and that the president has, quote unquote, dropped the ball. Now, if he can say all of that, why can't the administration admit it?
They can't admit it. And these big city mayors, they are sanctuary cities. They're sanctuary states. And they can't shut it down
fucking
because
assholes.
politically they think they're going to have a problem. Remember when Mayor Adams came into office? He encouraged and was supportive of having people that are here illegally actually vote. In Minnesota, they're going to allow people who are not here as legal citizens to be in law enforcement. Are you kidding me? And if you know what? If you're a drug cartel, Harris, and you wanted to make money, traffic guns, traffic people, traffic drugs, this is the perfect scenario. There is no better person than Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is doing an event today on artificial intelligence. Joe Biden is going to a family farm in Minnesota. The world is falling apart. It's burning. Our border is open. And that's what our administration is doing.
And every time you tell me that this particular vice president is in charge of artificial intelligence, I laugh.
Yeah.
I do, because it feels like artificial intelligence coming from her and not the cool tech kind. The White House politically will have a problem. What I take from that from you is that they're worried about the Muslim vote, which is something that we are learning more and more about. So they are in a pickle, so to speak. They don't know which side to lean on. I'm not sure, but I see what you're saying. The White House yesterday, in fact, dodged a question about the risk of foreign terrorists taking advantage of weak security at our southern border. Just watch.
has the White House considered the possibility that a terrorist could be in the country right now after crossing the southern border?
Peter, we are always concerned about the potential presence on U.S. soil.
Then why isn't the border closed?
Coming from overseas.
600,000 known gotaways just in the last fiscal year.
Yeah.
Is there any heartburn about leaving the border in such a condition that one of those 600,000 could be a terrorist?
I can tell you that we
There's a
are
lot more than one, baby.
monitoring as best we can all ports of entry to the country.
There's a lot more than one terrorist here.
For the potential arrival of anybody who might wish us harm.
The general just was.
There were thousands.
Somebody who wants to commit a terrorist attack during a time of.
There were thousands here.
Crossed the southern border into the United States already.
I couldn't possibly answer that question, Peter.
I can help him. We know of 169 in the last few months that are on the terror watch list who've come across that we caught up with, but we also know north of 1.5 million of gotaways are here. So we don't know who's in this country. So I can help him with that one.
I've lost a lot of respect for John Kirby. I appreciate his service to the country, but to say that they're monitoring what's happening at the border, that's not their mission. The mission is to secure the border, to have a uniform role of immigration. That's what they're supposed to do, not monitor.
A country without borders is no country.
They go right by. But you cannot find a Border Patrol agent in this country, some 20,000+ people, who think what is going on in this administration is the right thing to do. We caught 18 people on the terrorist watch list last month. And at the same time, the administration is testifying on Capitol Hill that they're concerned about a lone wolf. They will systematically allow hundreds of thousands of people that they caught and release them into the country. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah, I'm more worried about a pack.
You know what it's like? It's like when the drug cartel allows you to catch the $1 million worth of drugs while they slip in the $100 million worth of drugs. So that's the same with terrorists.
Pop it up again. In fiscal year 22, which just ended last month.
This is bullshit. There's a lot more than this in this country.
Jason, look at that number.
There's a lot more than
These are
this.
just the ones that we know about, Harris.
Right.
That's what's so scary. They have come across by the millions.
Yep.
I mean, by the tens of thousands, they come across on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And again, why doesn't the administration go meet with the Border Patrol? Brandon Judd,
If this was happening, why aren't they shutting the borders down? Because it's by design. They want this to happen to America.
Who's in charge of this?
Okay?
No.
They want this to
I
happen
know
to
what you said.
America.
She is literally, as we're speaking, giving a speech on artificial intelligence, but will not secure the border. Won't even have the discussion about it.
You know, honestly, though, what good would it do to meet with her? I mean, Democrats have proven on this issue, at least the ones at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, that this is not something they are going to go to the mat for. They just won't do it. And I picked 2022, by the way. Obviously, we're at 169 already for fiscal year 23. But I picked that because this was before October 7th. This was before what's happening in the Middle East. Right. So we've had a pile on top of a situation that they didn't even see as a problem 30 days ago.
They fundamentally changed the way they were enforcing the law. They chose not to enforce the law. They're not deporting people. That's their fundamental choice that they made along the way.
You got the gist. I'm ending this. It's just too upsetting to keep
crossing the rivers.